Hello, mic testing. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me. I think you can. I think there's a decent delay here, but I will begin either way. If you guys cannot hear me or see me, let me know. But hello, GM. I think you guys can hear me. Welcome to first live after 3 years. Also, let me know if you guys can hear me well. If not, I'll probably change my mic if I need to. So yeah, this has been a while. My last stream was in 2020, right after I moved back home, and I think it was close to April then as well. So it's been almost 3 years. Super happy to be back. And in today's live, we are first going through a bunch of open source, not contributions, but proposals. People who are participating in GSoC right now. 4th of April, I think, is the deadline. And hence, we only have 2 days. So I'm going to review a bunch of things. Again, I strongly believe that your contributions matter the most. As long as you don't have huge red flags in your resume, in your proposal, you should be fine. बट हाँ इंडिया आया हूँ whoever asked, I am in चंडीगढ़ right now, तो घर से ही स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ. Around 10 people, no, around 20 people have submitted. I don't think I'll be able to go through all the proposals today, but hopefully I get through around 7 to 8. Most of the things I say there will be replicable. This is not a specific review of a proposal, and as I said earlier, I don't think it matters too much. What matter are your contributions. So what I'm personally excited to see is लोगों की contributions कैसी हैं and how well like the proposal could be great, but if the contributions are bad, I will try to guess whether or not this person will make it, and vice versa. I think if you have a lot of contributions, then your proposal frankly doesn't matter. So it's been a lot of years now since I participated in GSoC. It's been more than like 7 years. So it'll be fun to go through that process again. And right after this live, in around 2 hours, I'll be releasing a video in which I am going through my original contributions back in the day. So my contributions from 2014, 2015, when I first tried applying to GSoC and did not make it in. So look out for that video, and let me see if there are any other questions before we proceed. Someone is really excited to know if they should learn React in 2023. I think that's a good idea. How can we stop the spam? Is there a way to... Please don't spam, guys. I'm completely illiterate here. But please don't spam. I will look at the questions most probably at the end because I will be going through the contributions now. But my Codeforces profile is HSKPNS, I think. Cool. I think I'll get started. If you haven't yet submitted the proposal, probably no point now. I think there are already a lot of these to go through. So I might not be able to pick it up. But as I said, a lot of these things are applicable. And usually I won't be able to help you too much here. Your contributions are what will help. This is just to pick out if there are any red flags and just a way for me to see how well people are contributing today and guess whether or not they'll make it in. With that, let's see if I can give screen share. There we go. Let's start with the very first contribution. How many people are live here? 185. That's not bad. So the first contribution is by Sir Prashant Verma. It's in Rocket Chat, an organization I also contributed to back in the day. I think they are a Slack alternative. I could be wrong, and forgive me if I am. Can you guys see the screen, by the way? Yeah, I think you can. So let's get right into it. I would format this a little bit better. Again, it doesn't matter, but formatting seems a little off to me. This seems a little too big, too much space here, things like that. Basic stuff. Very nice. Whiteboard integration in a Slack-like application seems like an extremely impactful project. So probably should make it in. I'm not sure if I can find a place where I can learn and help at the same time. You're learning and working. Oh, why are you interested? Makes sense. Appraise them a little, and yeah, Seems like a good answer. Seems legit. 350 hours for a project like this makes sense. Oopsie daisy. I might have shared your phone number, Prashant. Sorry about that. Previous projects around collaboration. Why I'm excited about this project is because my GSoC also in my third year was around collaboration. Only it wasn't whiteboard; it was a collaborative editor. So it was very similar, and seems like this person has some experience. They've built an application for an ed tech. I don't think this experience is relevant here. Not that it matters again. If always good to mention. Let's dive into the juicy bits. If I was the reviewer of this proposal, I already know what the um, thing is that needs to be made. Let's look at the schedule real quick. Invite users to the product develop. They can edit. Makes sense. I mean, hopefully makes sense. This is so cool. A flowchart. I used the same thing back in the day to create a flowchart. And work internship experience. And links. I don't see any contributions here. That might be because this person hasn't contributed. But if you have, you should definitely put them there. If you haven't contributed at all, if I was a reviewer of this application, I would try to look through your plan and see if you actually understand how to build something like this, because it's slightly difficult to build this. Design two-way communication among drawing clients, that looks good. I think I would definitely add more detail here, because I don't know whether or not you have the skills to complete this project, because this is a mildly difficult project. So if you have contributed, if you haven't yet contributed, I would contribute. If you have contributed, I would definitely put them here. And also, I would make my contributions slightly related to real-time communication, because that's the project you're picking here, and that's a hard problem to solve. So it looking at, oh, you have done an internship, okay. So yeah, looking at this, I would be mildly confident if no one else has contributed to this project. I would still, you might still make it in, but it seems like needs to be more work. There's more work to be done here. So that would be my suggestion. And if anyone else has similar proposals where you haven't contributed, it's a difficult project and you haven't added a lot of details, I would add more details. With that, let's move to the second one. Let me look at the chat real quick. Sir, after practicing DSA, which field should I choose? Data science or cloud? Many choice amongst the two would be cloud. Actually, hard choice, frankly. Opinion on AI takeover probably deserves a video of its own. Easy way to find a GSoC project. One easy way that I found was find simple web development projects that are easy to set up. जहाँ पे you can at least contribute in simple HTML, CSS projects and like get started. Where do you turn on slow mode from? Help me out, guys. Where is the slow mode? Aryan, ping me on WhatsApp and let me know. I'll move on to the next contribution. I'm not looking at the chat for a while. So when I do, hopefully we'll have slow mode on. Moving to the second proposal. Let me share my screen. There we go. This is another contribution by Abhishek Yadav in Rocket Chat as well. Summarizing live chat conversation using OpenAI's ChatGPT. This is sounds like an amazing project to build and pretty impactful as well, at least at this time. Um, Developing a solution for short and concise live summary of conversations using OpenAI's ChatGPT API makes sense. Introduction makes sense. Everything is there. Competitive programming, basic development, the MERN stack. Abstract, I'm going to skip through this. Benefits to the community make a lot of sense. Yeah. I would cut this down a little bit. Um, Goals, I have planned to accomplish the following during the program: provide an interactive UI to manage the authors. Makes sense. The actual message content of the book so that the message remains secure. Seems like slightly extra detail, but not the end of the world. Still looks pretty good. Summarized messages would be stored in MongoDB. Makes sense. Using ChatGPT 4 model, the chat messages can also be summarized in the form of flowcharts. Cool. Interface for chat messages, options for text summary. I love that this is pink in color, stands out pretty well. Uh, Multiple chat summary. One more thing, extras. I'm just going over this in the same fashion. I think a mentor would go over this like very quickly from the very top. The potential extras, I would remove this. Implementation details. This is important. The manager slash chat moderator will have the option of summarizing every chat message in the Omni channel once they click on the kebab menu. ये typo है सही में kebab it could be kebab. No. They click on the summarize button and clicking on that opens a pop-up will appear, sorry, on consisting. There's definitely a typo here, of the message to be edited. I would put this through Grammarly or ChatGPT and like fix the grammatical errors, but I get the point. Okay, you'll open up a model that looks something like this. You'll click on, you'll add a summary length, and you'll summarize it. Da-da-da-da-da. The UI will further be improved during the GSoC period. Makes sense. Getting data from the API. Seems like you've already added code segments here, which look pretty good. Interesting. After this video, I'll probably go through this again just to understand the ChatGPT API. I've been trying, like, wanting to fiddle with it, and this looks pretty good, man. It seems like you've already done what the project needs to do, at least in bits and pieces. Deploying, so for ChatGPT API, first you've summarized that as well. Pretty good, pretty good. I like it. Very professional. Maybe, just maybe, add a GitHub gist link here. Frankly, this isn't bad either. This is the first time I'm seeing this inside a proposal, and frankly, it makes me feel very good. It makes me more confident in your skills, so I don't hate it. Sometimes people prefer links and they want the proposal to just be text. To each their own. I don't hate this. Each term used in the API is explained below. Oh, very nice. More code, flowchart, timeline, future work. Pretty good. I would call this an amazing proposal. I'm not sure if you've contributed. I'm not sure if you need to, considering like it just seems like a fairly simple project to build because like you're using the ChatGPT API versus like writing a model of your own. So you got lucky there. But this is a clean proposal. It seems like you have the skills to build it. Now, if someone has better skills, maybe they get in. But if this is a project that's needed, and if not a lot of smart people have contributed, I would put this project. So good work here, Abhishek. Let's look at your GitHub real quick just to see if you've made any contributions. Your GitHub looks mildly empty at the moment. I would add some green magic there just for like just like extra bits. You probably don't need it, and maybe you do need it. I don't know, but this is a good proposal generally. So good work. Moving on to the chat, let's add slow mode. यार मुझे स्लो मोड ही नहीं डालना आ रहा यार. So dumb. Taking up a few questions, please don't spam. Oh, let me stop sharing. Oh, seems like I did. Hey Harkiyat, are you introducing full Web3 course? Whenever I have the time, I will most probably be releasing longer videos that you'll have to follow through, and then eventually like assignments that you can do on your own, and like maybe find people on Discord that can help you with. It is at the back of my head, but depends on how much time I get. um Ooh, see daisy. How? Oh my god, so many. Yeah, Rocket Chat community told me in a meet that you don't prefer code in proposals. They say it's kind of fluff. So, Abhishek, keep that in mind. Sir, as of, oh my God, I'm a B graduate, not currently employed. Can I still contribute to GSoC? I think you can now. I think now anyone can contribute to GSoC as long as you're a beginner. Uh, I could be wrong, but I think even like non college students can now apply. Please come on Top Mate. What is Top Mate? Like a one-on-one like coaching platform or something. um let's see. Is knowing basics of a language enough to contribute in GSoC? I mean, if, probably not. Maybe depends on the project. If you only know the basics, you have to be very lucky with the project. For slow mode, edit, customization, message delay. Okay, now where is edit? Oh, okay, got it. Sorry guys, small commercial break. Slow mode enabled. Thank you, sir. uh Savvy shooter, thank you. uh what do I do in 20 days? One good question is, should I get into cloud or should I cover full stack first? They're not, they're pretty complementary skills. So you can actually pick one or the other. Full stack is easier. Also, if you know full stack, you can dive into DevOps. Usually, ulta karna thoda mushkil hota hai. So I would suggest just understand full stack jaldi se and then move to DevOps, because DevOps, of course, pays much more than full stack. I will do a review for Vishal Maila now because he's asked for it. Let's see. Ah, there you go. I think we'll do 3 more reviews, then AMA, bunch of questions, and then we'll call it a day. Present. Nope. Wrong one. Okay, Vishal, this is your proposal. Looks clean. Makes sense. Personal background looks decent. I'm applying for mentorship. ये मुझे समझ नहीं आया. Is this something you've done? If this is something you haven't done, you're applying for some mentorship. Is this like, maybe this is some detail I don't know about. But if this is not related to GSoC, I'd probably remove it. I said I would not say you like I would not mention I've set out to explore the depths of open source, because it might mean like, I guess GSoC is for beginners, but would probably something like I have been contributing to open source because I love it would make more sense. GSoC information. This is my first time participating in GSoC. I would remove that as well. They don't need to know that. I got to know about GSoC. This looks like extra detail that's not needed. I would remove at least these 2 lines, if not the whole section. This makes sense. This makes sense. I would make this 40 hours a week because that's sort of what's expected. Do you have like college or something during that time? I mean, if not, I would put like 40 hours a week here. 40 hours a week, yeah. And you've made contributions. That's awesome. Let's look at those after we go through the proposal. Hardest part of my journey is getting a rough idea of the code base. I agree. That's true for everyone. I would not mention this either. I spent so much time, 3 to 2 weeks. I would make that 2 to 3 weeks on the code. Yeah, I just remove this. I don't think this is needed. I'm also interested in Go SDK. I'm looking forward to. I would remove all of this one. This is super impactful that you've made these contributions. Don't pull yourself down by saying कि ये मुश्किल था जो भी था. I would remove this completely. Project abstract, add support for SQL databases. by adding support for sequelize. Okay, what's this project again? Deploy TypeScript SDK. Okay, what is deploy? Okay, chalo, I guess we'll get to it. Add support for popular SQL databases by adding support for sequelize. Install sequelize as a dependency in the SDK. Makes sense. Configure sequelize to connect to a database and set up sequelize instances with necessary connection information and update TS-SDK to include support for sequelize. Makes sense. I understand this well, even though I don't understand the project, so that's a very good sign. Once the module is set up, map sequelize queries to appropriate tests or mock objects. Makes sense. Understanding the behavior of the API and generating tests makes sense. Mock the CRUD, a flowchart. Usually, no one looks at the flowchart I've seen, but it's always good to have it there. Adds support for Redis and Elasticsearch. Create a new class for Redis client that mocks the properties and methods of the Redis client. Okay, this class will have methods such as get, tell, makes sense. And another one for Elasticsearch, more flowcharts, add support for Axios, makes sense. How will this project help deploy and timeline? Future work. Cool. So I don't know about this project. Let me share my screen and let's go through your contributions. But this proposal looks decent. I just feel you're pulling yourself down which may don't do that. Like feel free to be like, I'm very good. And your contributions look pretty big. Oh, you've not okay. They've not been merged though, but this contribution is pretty big. 557. This test case uses the TypeScript SDK and node fetches library to generate mock external API call. This looks very related to your project, which is also very good. Okay, you have a lot of yarn changes, makes sense. But adding tests is always good. When did you create this pull request? Last week? Huh. Oh. Please integrate here SDK. Yeah, I think you should see like a resolve button here. Whenever someone reviews it and you fix the issue, just click on resolve and that's it. You shouldn't re-ask for reviews unless it's been like a week. And definitely don't tag contributors because it can get a little annoying, but that's totally fine. Think that was one. Let's look at another one. Has any of your contributions gotten merged until now? This is another one. Yeah, I would just start getting these merged, and you're already doing pretty well considering you've contributed, and a lot of people haven't. But none of your contributions have been merged yet. Oh, LGTM. Please follow the conversation. Pass CI action. Sounds good. Yeah, this is a yellowish flag. You should be able to fix this yourself. Yeah, just merge your comments or like create a fresh branch and like get this out of the way without another review or another comment from the reviewer, because this one might be this one looks good to them, only your CI isn't passing, I think, because your commit message is a little weird and it needs to be like of a certain yeah, I think you have a merge commit, that's why. Simplest solution: create a new branch from master and then create a single comment with your changes and then force push to this branch and get this merged. I think one contribution is a good start. Let's see if you have another one. Yeah, seems like here also you need to fix the commit message. It should be most probably of some format. Whoopsie daisy. I'm not diving into this, but point being, I think your proposal was decent and you have contributions. Just like make sure that you get them merged and hopefully without like asking them too many questions, because this is like a simple niche thing that you should know. But this was a good proposal, and as you might have seen, I spent most of my time looking at your contributions. If I look at someone's contributions, they look good is when I move to the proposal. because only then it makes sense to move to the proposal. If someone has zero contributions, usually, unless they're very good and they're very busy, which is why they haven't made contributions, but usually your proposal might be ignored, or even if people look at it, like they wouldn't feel confident in it even if your proposal is great. So contribute. That's advice number one, and probably the biggest one. Moving on to the comments section. Apucha Sawal for the next few minutes. Sir, on TopMate, we can reduce spam, allow students to connect with you. Makes sense. I will take a look after this call. I'm doing good. Ojas, how are you? Um, Ishan Singh, I'll try to see if I've received it. And if yes, I will review yours next. Will DevOps and other cloud certifications become useless when Web3 becomes mainstream? It's a long, long, long time before Web3 becomes mainstream. I don't think Web3 is what might take away DevOps, or like, I don't have anything else in mind either. I think it's a field that will stay. I wouldn't worry about Web3 taking it away or anything. Make a complete playlist for GSoC from noob to pro. Yeah, I should probably do that. Review. Oh my god, how many contributions are more than enough for GSoC? Start from like at least one. 10 are decent. 20 are like हो ही जाएगा 20 में तुम्हारा. I'm a full stack developer and want to join. Okay, sir, I am. Moving on to the next one. I think I saw Ishan Singh. Let's move to that one. Probably second last or the last one, after which we can do as many questions as you guys might like. Okay, I see your proposal here, Ishan. It's in VLC iOS, which is something I have almost zero idea about. So forgive me if this isn't the best review. Videolan. This probably is the company, I think, that creates VLC, and you're updating VLC iOS UI. Makes sense. Let's look at your GitHub first. Again, I would always do this before reading someone's proposal. And it looks pretty empty, Ishan. That's not a good sign. But let's go through your proposal. Have you made contributions to begin with? I mean, if not, I would suggest you do that. I know this was a... Oh, well, your proposal looks decent with... Oh, you have made contributions. My bad. Their version control system is different. Makes sense. वही मैं कहूँ, इतना अच्छा प्रपोजल और कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन ना हो ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता. Cool. This is merged. Very good, Ishan Singh. I am impressed. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see it. These are the contributions that Ishan has made. Some of them are like fairly old, 2 to 3 months ago, but they look pretty good actually. Decent amount of changes. Yeah, it seems like you can work your way around iOS. So I'm not worried about contributions anymore. Let's look at your proposal. I use VLC iOS mainly for listening to my personal song collections and sometimes watching downloaded movies. I like rewatching. I mean, honestly, do you use VLC iOS? I mean, I think there are better video streaming apps, but this is good. But I think even the contributors would know you're probably lying here. Not that it matters. Though it's famous for its ability to play any file and its user-friendly interface. Okay, I would mildly disagree. Sorry, this became like a roasting session for VLC. There are some components that need an update. Makes sense. I aim to recreate VLC iOS and work on improving the user interface and some features present in its and add some features present in its counterparts. Makes sense. Just so I understand, you are literally recreating, like rewriting the iOS app, or are you like adding, like making changes to the old one? I guess we'll find out. With the introduction, this one is actually a pretty interesting proposal. Not that I understand iOS, but the number of contributions are good. There's a very nice story here. and it's generally intriguing to me. So I'm reading the rest. Uh, Deliverables and core objectives. With the introduction of new audio player, there are many features that are present in Android but can be added to the iOS version of VLC. Changes in the audio player. I think you're comparing like Android to iOS or something like that here. The objective of the change is to add support for features missing in iOS, but as we see in Android, there are also match of some UI behavior in Android. Okay, add audio player tips on iOS. Implement a search button. Makes sense. Makes sense. Fix seek. This looks like a pretty impactful project, if I'm being honest. Uh, how can I connect to Ishan? Ishan, have you talked to mentors? Do they know you're contributing? I'm looking at the YouTube comments right now, but please no one other than Ishan comment for a while. Um, do you have you do they know you, and have you talked to them on email or something? Because this looks like a very good, pretty strong project, I would say. um, unless this gets deprioritized or something for some other project, I would be pretty confident in this project, if I'm honest. That's my 2 cents at this moment. Do I see any changes? uh, Not really. It looks pretty decent, well, like more than decent actually. uh, if you want to format it better, feel free to. I don't think it will matter. I think your contributions are pretty solid, so I think they'll overlook details, like the cleanliness of your proposal, which is also like not bad. Okay, so you said that the contributors are not responding. If that's the case, the mentors are not responding, I'd probably not ping them. uh, People are very busy. You don't want to be the person who's pinging them again and again. If you've tried once, great. Now just leave them to it. Just keep contributing, don't stop contributing. I saw for a reason, like for some reason your contributions were fairly old, like 2 to 3 months ago. So I would still keep contributing until the results come out. But other than that, I'm pretty I like your proposal. I don't know if you'll make it in, but looks pretty legit to me. Moving on to the comments, I did see that, thank you. um, a lot of questions around, I'm new to a certain stack, how can I find projects to contribute to them? Finding projects is easy, contributing to them is hard, I think. I'm sure there are a lot of GitHub open source projects that use the MERN stack. I am in the process of finding good open source projects to contribute to, uh, like related, like specifically in various stacks, and like in companies that actually hire. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world. It's not as easy as finding like a FANG uh, company, but I think I should be able to get a list and then start contributing so you guys can contribute. So that's definitely on the roadmap. um, let's see. So फ्लटर वर्सेस रिएक्ट नेटिव, आई थिंक फ्लटर इज पिकिंग अप बहुत तेजी से. रिएक्ट नेटिव का फायदा ये है कि यू कैन डू जावास्क्रिप्ट back and front end and mobile, reuse some components, so you don't have to rewrite a lot of code. So it's a personal choice for everyone. um, but Flutter, लोग कहते हैं it's more performant, so I don't know, I haven't frankly done either. Cool. Last one, Yatendra Kumar has commented that they need their proposal reviewed. So let's do that. Let me find doc. Rocket Chat again. People love Rocket Chat for some reason. Even back when I was in college, a lot of people would contribute to Rocket Chat. This is probably a project, maybe not in MERN completely, but Inca frontend is most probably React. So whoever was looking for MERN projects to contribute to, you can probably look at this. Yatendra Kumar, let's look at your GitHub. First thing I do always, show it to everyone as well. Some green, pretty decent for a college student. Let's look at your proposal now. About me, I'm a proficient Flutter developer, third year, Symbiosis Institute of Technology. I would remove this. I don't think they care. I led my, okay. I participated. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of detail, which is fine, should be fine. Might be able to work without it. But it's fine. Good, you have, like, it seems like the proposal actually starts from here. So let's get right into it. A Flutter SDK for Rocket Chat. This seemed like, again, a pretty impactful project. During the discussions on Rocket Chat idea Flutter SDK, we identified the need for a Flutter SDK for Rocket Chat SDK that enables the easy embedding of Rocket Chat instances into any Flutter app. This makes a lot of sense. This seems like a very needed and important project for Rocket Chat. The existing embed chat project on GitHub will be used as a reference to ensure that the new Flutter components are similar or even better. That's good. We also discussed the need for a Dart-friendly API / stub for the application that requires in-depth modification of the chat. This makes a lot of sense. Feels like an extremely important project, at least to me, if I was there. The project would require skills in Flutter. Makes sense. After the project is implemented, the following features can be expected: a Flutter package for embedding Rocket Chat, a Dart API layer for implementing and customizing chat behavior, a bunch of other things. Makes sense. Investigation. As per our discussion on Rocket Chats, I researched the following projects end to end. Embed Chat is a React component node module of Rocket Chat application that is fully configurable. Okay. React Native apps. Makes sense. Challenges. Currently, React SDK is not available for Flutter. Okay. Makes sense. This seems like a big project. Not sure. This is like a 3-month project. Seems like a longer project. I could be wrong. A combination of real time and REST APIs. Determining when to use real time versus REST makes sense. Deliverables, Flutter SDK. I think you've written this before, not that it matters. Related work. Connect to WebSocket using WebSocket Flutter. This looks good. Again, if possible, try to add a gist here. Login with OAuth using REST APIs. Makes sense. Send messages in rooms using real-time API. Cool, cool. Potential impact, availability. This looks good. Cool, cool. I like it. Beautiful. The proposal is great. I totally understand what you're trying to make. I feel like you have the skills to do it as well. I haven't seen any contributions, but for you, Flutter, they don't already have a Flutter SDK, so I don't know where you'll contribute. Probably to the React Native SDK for now. Might be good to get it in there. Project seems pretty impactful, but if you have like other peers who might be contributing to the same project, um, it might get slightly hard because of purely contributions. Maybe you have contributed and I haven't looked out at your GitHub enough. But if you haven't, I would strongly do that. Proposal looks solid. Um, if it was only to the proposal, you would probably make it in, but contributions end up mattering slightly more than the proposal. But the project looks pretty impactful and your proposal looks good. So hopefully, if you haven't already, contribute a little bit more. Looks pretty legit. I'm actually pretty happy to see uh, very solid projects and like the kind of understanding that people now have in college. Back in the day, not a lot of people would be able to write proposals that were such in depth. So solid work there. And I think we should get into any AMA questions that you guys may have, and we can call it a night after that. Um, I haven't slept for a while, a few hours, so I would like to call it a night soon, but there will be a video releasing in the next 2 to 3 hours. where I'll be showing my GitHub contributions in my first year. It was an ugly contribution, पहले ही बता रहा हूँ. So like, feel free to go there and watch that video. Um, is GSoC just for uni students? I think this has changed recently, and now anyone can do it. I could be wrong though. Uh, Please, okay, I will review another one. I saw someone comment. Which field is the best for freelancing or open source? Full stack is decent. DevOps is pretty high in demand. Web3 is nice. AI machine learning तो है ही. So meetup का देखते हैं यार. I have to figure it out. It's hard to do a meetup out in the open. So we probably have to figure out like a college or something जहाँ पे होगा. Most probably. I talked to someone. They said ऐसे नहीं हो पाता. मतलब someone like who has done a lot of meetups. If I do it in the open, apparently there can be issues, and we don't want issues. So I'm looking for a college, but like I can call everyone an auditorium kind of a thing. So it's things are slightly smoother. Most probably in Delhi because that's where I usually stay, or Chandigarh. I am currently in Chandigarh, and there are a bunch of engineering colleges here, so maybe here. Uh, I just completed my 12th, and excuse me, guys. Um, I just completed my 12th and I want to do GSoC in my first year. Please tell me the roadmap. So here's the thing, sir. In my first year, I remember when I reached college, there was a senior who told me there was an orientation where people were like, this is the guy who did GSoC in his first year and GSoC pays XYZ. And I asked him a similar question and he gave me a very blunt response. Ke, he basically told me कि वो contribute करना होता है, but like there is no real roadmap here. He told me a bunch of things. I had the best seniors. I was in one of the best colleges doing computer science. Still, I couldn't make it in my first year because in the end, practice and computer science इंटेलेक्ट कह लो जो धीरे धीरे बनता है पैदा कोई नहीं होता उसके साथ विद टाइम ही आता है वो एंड that's how you make it and like no one can answer or give you a roadmap at least for open source like it's easier for things like DSA or even like full stack but like open source is like a very broad thing and every project out there is very different so in the end first you have to learn and if you're only going in your first year you probably have to learn first uske baad you can do it sir opinion about HFTs I think it's pretty decent I mean back in my day. Also, few people used to go. They're usually the ones that pay the most, and because that's because they're printing a lot of money. So yeah, I mean, you should do it. I don't know the roadmap for that though, because I haven't gone to one. But I can see if I can find someone and bring them to the channel. Um, I'm confused. Should I start DSA or do open source contributions for getting remote jobs? Do both, man. I was talking to Ishan Sharma recently on a podcast, so this will be repeated advice there as well. But I said there is like I personally did DSA. I did it for a while in college. I did lead code. I sat for algorithmic interviews like companies like Fang. I interned at Amazon. So it doesn't make sense for me to preach open source right from the beginning. जब मैंने वो चीज़ खुद नहीं की है I think open source is great. I think remote jobs are great. I'm currently working in one and I love it. But it can be the first step, but in a lot of cases, it might not be the first step. In a lot of cases, a FANG job might be the first step, or something else like a startup in India might be the first step. And in these places, they do require DSA as the initial filtering criteria. So there is nothing wrong in knowing DSA. Spend like an hour or two a day, just like your college examination, and do enough for you to crack the interview. If you don't like it, if you like it, then do it even more. But that would be my advice. Sir, your latest message, your Git any social media handle? I don't. My social media handles are on. You'll find them in some video. भैया remote jobs में काफ़ी I see USA only, and I want to ask: should I look into jobs in portals or direct company websites? Best thing to do in remote jobs is contributing to open source, and then someone will reach out. If you cannot do that, then job portals is good. मेरी भी एक job जिससे पहले लगी थी वो job portal के through ही लगी थी. But then you have to be really good at something that they need. तभी वो job portal में तुम्हें देखेंगे because they are getting thousands of applications every day, and you're like some developer in India they don't know anything about. So it's harder. It's easier if you know if you're good at a very niche skill that they need, else it's slightly harder. So I would say contribute to open source or get very good at some niche skill. Now what is a niche skill? 2 साल पहले तक it was WebRTC because WebRTC is a live streaming protocol and COVID के दौरान live streaming was on a boom. Now it's AI right now at this moment. But I think Web3 and AI both will sort of be niche fields because they're harder to understand. So not a lot of people do it. Hence, there are less number of people who do it or understand it, and there's a lot of funding in these markets. So you are one of the overpaid employees. Come to UIT Punjab. I can definitely come there. My sister, if you guys don't know, graduated from UIT, so it's like a second home. So I'm more than happy to come. It's actually right here, pretty close by. Um, SGP, does SGPA really matter? I don't think so. Maybe in campus placements it matters. Probably does matter in campus placements, but other than that, yeah, not really. आगे जाके तो लाइफ में कहीं नहीं मैटर करता. Your college, your school and your college marks don't matter in software development jobs. Period. After a while, though, like I mean, initially SGPA might matter. Show your lead code. Oh God, hell no, bro. बहुत पुराना लीड कोड है मेरा, सालों पहले छोड़ दिया था मैंने. um, what about challenge accepted where you said you will pick a student and train them for fang? I have found someone, like not one person, a few people. um, yeah, so let's see. I was actually already running some cohort with my friend, like not a cohort. I was just guiding them on a Tuesday and a Thursday. कि ये चीज़ें कर लो, and then if they had questions, they would ask me with the tools that are available today, especially with ChatGPT now. Like you can pretty much teach yourself. I would just guide them कि ये करो ये करो ये करो. तो उसमें से भी एक बंदा है जिसकी रिमोट जॉब अभी हो सकता है कि लग जाए, अभी लगी नहीं है. So that might be a good success story that comes out of it. Uh, मोहाली में मीटअप रख सकते हैं, बट वो ये यार कोई कॉलेज ढूंढना पड़ेगा. ऐसे पब्लिक में मीटअप करना नहीं चाहिए, नहीं तो मुश्किल हो जाती है, ऐसा मैंने सुना है. आई एम नॉट श्योर, आई हैवंट डन वन बिफोर. कैन यू कम टू DTU? I can come for DTU. I mean, come to DTU. It's very close to my house in Delhi. So whenever I'm there, I'll be happy to. Um, let's see, guys. Uh, seems like a lot of questions are being repeated. कुछ बढ़िया सा मसालेदार पूछ लो, नहीं तो I might have to call it a night because I'm very sleepy. I haven't slept. It's been almost 18 hours now, so I should sleep. But let me see if there are any good questions. Um, what was your insight on this? I have 2 years of experience in React plus Node, currently working with Verizon. How can I make it to a 100K remote job? Um, is AWS Docker or Kubernetes knowledge required? It is not required, but it is appreciated. तो ये सब चीज़ें आनी चाहिए, इतनी मुश्किल नहीं है. If you've done React and Node.js for 2 years, it's not too difficult to Dockerize your app and then try to deploy it on AWS or some other. Um, it doesn't have to be Kubernetes, but it's usually good to at least understand how you can containerize your app and deploy it via CI/CD. Itna basics is good enough for a startup. Will they pay 100K? I don't know. Maybe they pay 70K, 80K, 90K, which is also a decent start considering you're working remotely and moving for like from like a company like Verizon. Um, तो React और Node में भी if you go deeper, if you understand TypeScript, right, बहुत basic हो जाती है चीज़ to know in a remote job. So don't stay stuck in React plus JavaScript plus Node. Definitely learn TypeScript. TypeScript भी आ गई तो और भी आजकल बड़े बड़े फ्रेमवर्क्स आ गए हैं. जैसे क्या नाम था उसका यार, एक अजीब सी RPC API आई है, मुझे याद आएगी तो मैं पोस्ट करूंगा कमेंट्स में. But there are like better ways to build always. So React Node.js, you can build a very simple full stack app, but then big startups usually are structured in a way where the code is written in a way that developers come and go and still code stays intact. So there are very strong types. There are a bunch of other things that you should understand. Maybe that's why you're not able to get that job. Otherwise, like the MERN stack is actually pretty popular in remote jobs. Someone has asked a spicy question, it seems. I missed it. I will consider the idea of topmate. I don't know what it is, but I have noted it down. Let me actually send it to a friend so I don't forget. Mumbai meetup hopefully soon. एक बार ये दिल्ली and पंजाब हो जाए, then for sure. Aditya Sandhya, yes. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Send a message along so I don't miss it, or maybe just please send a message on Instagram. I won't miss it there. कॉलेज में क्या करना चाहिए, डीएसए या फिर ओपन सोर्स? इसका जवाब वही है कि दोनों कर लो यार। मैंने भी दोनों किए थे। मैं तो तीसरी चीज़ फिल्म मेकिंग भी करता था। हो जाता है, मुश्किल नहीं होता इतना। इतना कोई बहुत डीप दोनों में सारी जरूरत है। जिसमें ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट बन रहा है उसमें डीप जाओ, पर दूसरी चीज़ को पकड़ के रखो फिर भी। एनी जनरल टिप्स फॉर फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट्स? तो बता दीजिए डायरेक्शन टू गो फॉर जीसॉक। जीसॉक में यही है। मेरी वीडियो आने वाली है 2 घंटे में, उसमें मैंने एक्जैक्टली ये चीज़ बताई है। मेरे पास लिंक आ गया, मैं अभी पोस्ट कर देता हूँ। 2 घंटे का अभी आ जाएगी, 15 मिनट में। उसमें देख लेना, मैंने जीसॉक अपनी पूरी जर्नी बताई है शुरू से लेकर अंत तक। तो यू विल बेसिकली सी एवरीथिंग। उसमें यू डोंट नीड मी टू सॉर्ट ऑफ गो ओवर इट अगेन। तो हाँ, 15 मिनट में 20 मिनट में आ जाएगी वीडियो, उसमें देख लेना। आई हैव शेयर्ड माय कंप्लीट जर्नी फ्रॉम अ लिटरल जीरो। मतलब मेरा, मैं दिखाना नहीं चाहता भी क्योंकि वीडियो में फिर से, बट माय फर्स्ट कंट्रीब्यूशन वाज सो अगली। क्रिश आर्यन मीटअप इज प्रॉब्ली हैपनिंग एट डीटीयू मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली, जहाँ तक मुझे समझ आ रहा है। बट माई फर्स्ट कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन वाज सो अगली, वो मैंने भी दिखाया अगली वीडियो में। तो सबकी शुरुआत ऐसे बहुत बेसिक से ही होती है। कोई पैदा होते ही नहीं सीख जाता कोडिंग। सो द ओनली थिंग यू हैव टू स्टे कंसिस्टेंट। इट्स, मैंने अपने दोस्तों में बस ये देखा है फ़र्क, मेरे दोस्तों में, कि लॉट ऑफ देम डिड आइदर कोडिंग जस्ट इनफ टू गेट अ जॉब विच मीन्स डीएसए, एंड देन वहाँ जाके ऑल्सो देर चिलिंग। या फिर लॉट ऑफ देम डिड नॉट वर्क आउट एंड देन वेंट इनटू मार्केटिंग और सेल्स या ऐसी किसी फील्ड में। तो तुम्हें कोडिंग करनी है बस एक ही चीज़ है, स्टे कंसिस्टेंट, बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल फिल्टर आउट बिकॉज इट्स लाइक अ हार्ड थिंग टू डू। Slowly getting easier with tools like ChatGPT, and then now there are a lot of easier frameworks to build like websites, deploy them, and everything. Um, but generally, this field is difficult, which is why not a lot of people stick to it. Which is why there's like more money in tech, so on and so forth. I'm deciding to start freelancing, but I'm confused that I should go for open source first. It's the same, like there is no real difference. They're pretty closely linked, I would say, open source and freelancing. I started freelancing, felt like you have to be like a business person to freelance for full time, because you have to like negotiate and then make sure they pay you, and then a bunch of things. Once you move full time, it's easier. Life is, I mean, it's easier if you don't want to get involved with business, uh, and hence open source helps there, because that way you can get straight away into like a company in like a full time role, versus like you have negotiating and then moving from one gig to the other. नहीं ब्रो, कोडिंग मेरी जान है, वही करना है मेरे को बस। करो भाई फिर, अगर मतलब जेन्युइनली इफ यू फील दैट वे, आई थिंक यू विल स्टिक टू इट, एंड देन फिर हो ही जाता है, आज नहीं तो कल। Few other questions, but इससे मेरे दिमाग में एक चीज़ आई। I have a very unpopular, maybe popular opinion, but chat gpt like makes a lot of lives very easy, especially for coders. So now everyone has a has like a teacher or an assistant with them who can teach them the way they like. जो सबके सवाल अलग होते हैं, which is why IIT JEE में मतलब तुम देखोगे, if you're going to like a tuition, it makes sense for you to go to a tuition, because like 60 बच्चों की क्लास में जिसमें सबके अलग अलग डाउट्स आते हैं. But coding is a field where like no, but like similar things happen in coding, probably even worse. Everyone is like stuck on different places, and now ChatGPT can help you as a personal assistant, so use that effectively. I've been using it pretty effectively these days. I would strongly suggest to like very strongly suggest to invest in like the paid version of ChatGPT, because it will save you a lot of time and then will help you in your learning as well. Cool. Cool. I think that should be a sweet point for us to end the live. A video will be releasing very soon, as I said, probably in the next 30 minutes. So look forward to that. I will answer one more question before I leave. Full stack with Laravel or Node.js? Yeesh. I would say Node.js, just because you can reuse your JavaScript knowledge in front end and other places. So that would be the end of this live. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm so sorry if I wasn't able to review your proposal, but the guidance and the idea remains the same. Contribute more. Frankly, the proposal wouldn't change much. Your contributions would. So keep contributing, and more importantly, keep learning, because जैसे मैंने बताया, छंटना बहुत आसान होता है कोडिंग में, ओनली द पीपल हु कीप कंटिन्यूइंग। मुझे भी 8 साल हो गया, मैंने जब स्टार्ट किया था मैं बहुत ही बिगिनर था, अभी तुम्हें वीडियो में दिख जाएगा। तो वो धीरे धीरे आती है, एंड जब एक बार आ जाता है देन उसके बाद वो इन्फ्लेक्शन पॉइंट आता है, और उसके बाद तुम्हारा मतलब फिर तुम करते जाओगे, फिर तुम फुल स्टैक से कहीं मतलब तुम्हें जहाँ जाना है तुम वहाँ चले जाओगे बेस्ड ऑन योर क्यूरियोसिटी, प्योरली बिकॉज अब उसके बाद तुम्हें क्यूरियोसिटी है और तुम्हें इस फील्ड में मतलब मजा आने लग जाता है, तो मजा ढूंढो। एंड with that, let's end the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.